Hey, what's going on YouTube? That's it, TZ here, bringing you guys an update video on my SIG P320. It's been a little while since I've done a video, um, and I've actually made these mods probably about 4 or 5 months ago. I just haven't had a chance to share it with you guys. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. So, if you've been following the channel, you know that I've been kind of steadily building this firearm up. It started out as a 40 caliber pistol, and I've since made several changes to it. About the only thing that has remained the same is the fire control unit, and then I've changed the trigger on that. It's got an Apex trigger on that. Enough with that. There's videos in the past on that, so if you guys want to see how this, the formation of this pistol and how it's transformed into what it is now, please check out my channel and subscribe, and you can see the changes that I've made to it. And so what I like to do is just kind of share the new ones that you haven't seen today. So I went out and I picked up a full-size frame. Now, this may look a little weird to you. You may not have seen this, but in the last video I did on this, I think I talked about the Parker Mountain Machine Micro Comp and Barrel. The Micro Comp is slightly smaller than the Parker Mountain Machine single port comp, the JTTC single port comp. And if you have a 3.9-inch slide and you run the single port JTTC comp, you can actually run it and it'll fit flush with the full-size grip module. But with the micro comp, there isn't a frame factory made that will fit flush like I have here. There isn't one. Nobody makes one. So if you get the 3.9-inch slide and you want to run the Parker Mountain Machine Micro Comp and Barrel, you're going to have it cut. Now, what I did was I cut mine myself. There are people out there that will cut them for you so you can have it professionally done. You can get it really nice look. I actually plan on doing that, but for right now, I cut it myself. I took the Dremel to it, and it's uneven. If you look at it, and I'll show you guys, you can see where it's uneven at. But you got to be looking real close to see that it's uneven. And for the most part, it came out pretty well. So I'll go ahead and show you guys that. So here's the front end of the gun. I'll go ahead and let you guys know it is unloaded because I will be kind of pointing this in my direction, but it won't be pointing directly at me. But I know how people are on YouTube, so I'll go ahead and show you the magazine's empty, and so is the firearm, okay? Alright, so I've got everything in there for you guys just so you can kind of, I'm hitting the camera here, I apologize, just so you can see what the finished product looks like. So coming up front here, you can see it's a little uneven. The front's kind of messed up, and then right there you can see where it's a little uneven, and I can actually go back and clean that up if I want to, but I kind of like it. I'm not going to change. What I think I'll do is I'll buy another one of these grip modules and have it professionally done. Speaking of this grip module, it came with the SIG magwell, and this one also has the tungsten weight in here too. So that's one thing you guys haven't seen, and there you go. There's just the finished product of that. Next, what I'd like to show you guys is here. Let's go ahead and take the gun down. Gotta take the magazine out. I picked up the DPM recoil reduction system. Now this is pretty cool. I was a little hesitant at first because I picked up the Parker Mountain Machine Micro Comp. Now this Micro Comp can reduce your felt recoil up to about 35% with this one, I believe. I believe that's what it says on the website. And Jared actually has some videos on these comps and how they you can actually measure the reduced recoil that these comps provide. And they're designed for the factory spring and guide rod. So I was a little hesitant at first to get these because the DPM recoil reduction system offers about the same amount of recoil reduction from what I hear, and I think it's about 35% as well. So, and in theory, I don't know how that works, but you're looking at about 70% in felt recoil reduction with the comp and the spring, and that's just me thinking. I'm not a scientist, and I don't know how that works, which would be pretty cool to see. Maybe somebody can set it up. Maybe Jared can do that one day. I don't know, but I don't have the means to actually look at that. But that would be pretty cool to see what the recoil reduction is with this spring system and the comps from Parker Mountain Machine. And by the way, the DPM system comes with 3 springs. Now, this is the longest spring that I've got in here. To me, this is the one that felt the best as far as the felt recoil, the impulse, and just being able to keep the dot on target. And I'll show you guys. I don't want to take it out. It's not captured, so if you take it out, it's kind of like a 1911. And I'll show you the product and how it comes here. So this is the compact and the carry. This is made for the 9mm 40 Smith & Wesson, the 357 and 45 ACP. Didn't realize that. But these springs, they're different limbs. So the goldish looking one is the middle spring. The silverish one is the smaller spring, and then I've got the longer spring in here. I've seen this on YouTube. You can't really, and I've seen people shoot with these. You can't really see the difference on camera. You can feel the difference though. So if it's something that you're interested in, if you do want to reduce the recoil, you may not be interested in the comp, but you may want to go with something that helps reduce recoil. This is a good product to have. Now, I will say, in the first 100 rounds, I did have a couple of stovepipes. It wasn't bad. And then after that, everything started working fine. And that's with using all of the springs. Once I haven't had an issue since then. So be aware, you may have some stovepipes, you may have some failures to extract, maybe some inline double feeds and things like that when you first purchase something like this. And if you decide to go with the comp, either one of these, you may have some issues. They do have a break-in process. So if you get them and you're experiencing some issues, just keep shooting it. It should clean up. And I'll be one to attest that I did have some issues, but after about 100 rounds, no issues after that. So some people have had issues longer. Some people have had no issues at all. I guess it just kind of depends on your setup and what you're running. So we'll go ahead and put the gun back together. But yeah, I took this to the range. Since I've had this set up, I've put maybe 250 rounds to this gun. Not a whole lot. I wish I could put more down range. And again, since that first 100 rounds, I haven't experienced any issues. The gun seems to be working really well, and it's been a joy to shoot. One thing I can attest, I am hitting the tripod again, is that when I'm shooting, and it may not pick up the dot, but you may see it a little bit there, but when I'm shooting with this setup, the dot stays in the lens. I'm not getting, when shooting these guns, if you're shooting, sometimes the dot will jump out of the lens just to the felt recoil, and you'll notice, you'll kind of see you'll get a sight picture like that as you're shooting. With this, the dot just stays in glass. It does raise up a little bit, but it never leaves my sight picture, so I get faster follow-up shots. I have noticed better marksmanship with it too, and I apologize, I don't have anything on film that I can show you, but I have noticed better marksmanship. My groups are a lot tighter. I think the one change that I will do to this gun before I actually call it completed is I will get the Armory Craft return spring, which is like between $5 and $8. So I may get that just to help with the reset of the trigger. It is a little mushy, but other than that, I like it a whole lot. So that's about it, guys. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave it below. Thanks again for watching, and please be safe. Later.